Hello, this is Veronica, and I am back with another YouTube video. In this video, we will be learning about using active studying techniques. How to study smart, not longer. Why active techniques? The reason I'm focused on active study techniques is because most of us spend a lot of time doing passive studying, things like rereading notes or highlighting. Those methods feel productive, but they actually don't help us remember much. Active study techniques, on the other hand, forces your brain to engage with the material, and that leads to much stronger memory and better exam performance. In this presentation, I'm going to quickly explain three methods that made the biggest difference for me: active recall, spaced repetition, and teaching others. Active recall is basically the opposite of rereading. Instead of looking at the information again, you try to pull it out of your memory. This could mean covering your notes and explaining a concept out loud, answering questions from a flashcard, or writing down everything you remember about a topic without checking your textbook. By forcing your brain to retrieve the information, you strengthen the memory and make it much easier to remember on a test. Spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is a study method where you review information several times, but you spread those reviews out over days or weeks. The idea is that every time you revisit the material right before you're about to forget it, the memory becomes stronger and lasts longer. For example, I would review a topic the next day, then 3 days later, then a week later, using Quizlet with a built-in space making this really, sorry, let me repeat that. Using Quizlet with built-in space making this really easy, and it keeps everything fresh for exams. And Quizlet is one of my favorite things to use when it came to studying because, everything is like mostly digital now. And so, like, using stuff that was online, and since I'm always like constantly on my phone, I can study wherever and whenever I needed to because I always had it on my phone. Quizlet was always a great way to study. So, try Quizlet if you haven't tried it yet. Teaching others. The last technique is teaching others. This works because when you try to explain a concept in simple terms, you quickly notice what you understand and what you don't. If you can teach a topic without looking at your notes, that usually means you truly know it. Sometimes I even pretend I'm teaching an imaginary class or friend. It sounds funny, but it really exposes the gaps and helps the information stick. I would always love doing that, acting like there was like someone around me, but there's not actually someone around me. So like it just made me feel like I was like knowing the information better when I was saying it out loud to my imaginary person. But when there was someone around me, it was always good to have them near me because like it would help me like study like by like having them like ask me questions. Like it's always great to have like a little partner if you don't want to be alone. My personal results. Before I started using the active study techniques, I felt like I was studying a lot, but not actually remembering much. I'd read my notes over and over, but during exams, the information just wouldn't come back easily. Once I switched to active recall, spaced repetition, and teaching the material, I noticed a real difference. My exam scores actually went up, like surprisingly. I was like, oh wow. I felt more confident and I actually spent less time studying because the methods were so effective. Closing. To wrap this up, the biggest takeaway is that active study techniques make learning more efficient and much more memorable. Active recall, active recall, spaced repetition, and teaching others turns studying from something that felt overwhelming into something that actually worked. If you try even one of these consistently, you'll notice a difference in how confidently you can recall information, especially during exams. Thanks for listening, and I hope you guys give these techniques a try.